Okay, so here we are with the cap pretty well in place now. I first fitted in on the top, put one rivet in each corner, and that held the top to allow for the gap here. As I showed before, we did the cut here and the cut down, and then I wanted to fit the bottom, so I cut some brackets, and you can see there's the brackets. Mounted the brackets, drilled the brackets in place, held the bottom corner here, held it flush this way, and made sure it was set this way. And then finally I drilled these two holes, put the rivets in there, and that held the place and made that exactly where I wanted it to be. Similar on this side. Here's the tool, by the way, that I use for my gapping. Works great for getting the right gap. A little touch tight at the bottom, but I can live with that. Again, this very same thing, same bracket I made up right there. I'll post a picture of that separately. I think that's good. I'm quite happy with this side. The fiberglass was bulging in too much. It was okay at the top and the bottom, but the fiberglass was too low. So I had put some some aluminum strips here, riveted them on before I put this in place. So that's now pushing that out. I do have a gap up in here, and of course in the bottom, particularly on the other side. Not quite sure how to fill that. I might just cut some more strips, glue them in. That might be the solution. And then once I've got enough so that I can then put some body filler or some kind of sealer in, just build this up a little bit. And then paint that, and we should be good to go. So I'm very happy with the fit. And again here, the fit is quite good. And again, here's the gap that I'm talking about. I need to fill somewhat. It's only about 1 millimeter here, but it gets pretty wide, almost 13 millimeters here. So I'll build it up with either lay the fiberglass strips in like I did, or the aluminum strips like I did on the other side, or turn the aluminum the other way and cut a strip that fills that hole. And then again, we can body fill that, and should be good. Very fiddly, takes a long time, but it's worth taking your time. I didn't want to do overly crazy on the bodywork because I'm not a bodywork guy. So I took the approach to make the fiberglass fit and minimize the bodywork. So I just have to, basically, the only loose part we have is right up at the top here. So I'll have to fasten that down and then to where I want it, and probably just have to do a pop rivet or something in here into a strip of aluminum underneath here, I'm not sure, and fill that in, and we should be good to carry on with the fenders. It's progress, progress is good. So let's just keep making progress. Okay, well, happy with the cap. So now we're starting to look at the fenders, and it's fitting pretty good. Not much to see back there, of course. The key is always right here in the front, and I think our gap is, I'm going to say, absolutely perfect. I can't really think you can get any better than that. Now this is just a fit. It's just in place. No rivets or anything right now at the moment. I think I can still open the door. The clamps. There you go. The bracket there, this bracket here, it was kind of bent. It wasn't 90, it was kind of bent out like this. So we bent it back, and then I realized it wasn't taking the curvature of the door and the curvature of the fender. So we curved it to match the door with the fender off. So it had the exact same curve as the door. And so in that case, then we had to re-drill a hole down here to make that fit. But that also fixed the problem. I was noticing, you can see the numbers on here, this is how low millimeters, but as soon as we straighten that out, the gappage has disappeared. So I think that's basically in its final place. We'll just have to figure out how to get it mounted, get the rivets and all that sort of stuff. I think we have to do the inner fenders first to get at the rivets on the back side here before we put the fender and stuff on. We don't want to really get ahead of ourselves, but I think not only was it progress earlier with the cap, but that's even more progress. Progress is good. Thanks a lot.